Welcome back to another episode of Cafecito Corner. We are in the holiday spirits with Christmas and New Year's coming up, and I decided to wear some green to signify a Christmas tree because we don't have
a tree
this year.
That's giving Grinch.
Yeah, it is giving Grinch.
But you wouldn't be the Jim Carrey Grinch. You would be like the baby one.
Oh, when he was a baby?
Yeah.
Yes. We should watch that movie soon.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's a
Do we
child.
have it?
Yeah, no, it's probably.
We have the animated, huh?
Yeah, probably.
That's funny.
But yeah, we have not decorated at all for Christmas or Thanksgiving or anything. We've just been in our Grinch mood. I told you to put Christmas lights, but you don't even want to do that.
So is this where you call me out or what?
I'm putting you on the spot here.
I just didn't have help and it's just tough.
Is it a lot of work? I've never actually seen how you can put Christmas lights on.
It's not a lot of work if we have good lights. We don't have good lights.
Yeah, I think we need to invest into some Costco lights, some good quality lights from either Sam's Club or Costco.
I mean, I think we should. I think that Costco has like the best lights. Those outside lights we bought from them were insane.
We were literally looking at Christmas lights yesterday in Gilbert, and people go all out for Christmas. Like, they spend some crazy money.
There was a guy that had a projector, and I think he has to be a coder or something because he like got his home exactly to project with the distance, like on the beams. He highlighted them.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Like, exactly how the home looked is exactly how, like, the picture showed. It's so weird to explain, but that was probably the craziest one we saw.
I also did, like, the what was the other one that had a projector like that?
Which one?
Or was that the same one, the Frozen one, maybe?
Yeah, it was the Frozen one. But
oh, yeah, we just drove around twice. You're right.
That had to be like thousands of dollars.
For sure. But think about the joy that his kids get.
Yeah, from seeing that. That's insane. And then the neighborhood we went to had like, what is it, PVC piping? Like little round...
it's PVC.
What did I say?
PVC.
PVC? Same thing.
No, that's a kid's channel.
Oh, yeah. The
PVC is something else.
PVC pipes. Which you should do next year for our house. I think that would be so cute.
What else would you like? You should put in your request.
Actually, let me get the list out.
If you put in your request now, maybe I can start working on it January 1st.
I really do. I think I'm going to manifest for you that next year you're going to become super handy. Like, I feel in my
blood. You act like I don't do No.
Well, it's just like I asked you to do a simple thing. Like, I literally, this happened a few months ago. I bought you Amazon lights for the patio. And it only took you 6 months to put them in the patio. So
here's the part that I don't think you understand. I think that you don't know what you asked for.
Okay.
You wanted me to hang these lights on a concrete wall. And I say, I don't have concrete drill bits. I don't have concrete nails. I don't have concrete screws.
Mm-hmm.
And is this really worth me perforating our wall?
Yeah.
That literally I know the screw and nail that would take.
Well, it's because the previous owner in this house had the LED lights for the patio. So he figured out a way to do it. And I just wanted you to figure out a way how to do it.
Oh, I understand. But he was also a general contractor.
Yeah.
He had some tools. But you think that anything could just be done.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like you compare that. Like I'm not a concrete like guy. Okay. Mm-hmm. But then it's like you asked me to install a light at the restaurant and I replaced it.
Yeah.
It's very different than drilling it on the wall right where you envisioned it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's a concrete wall.
Well, you did it. It only took 6 months. You figured out and you did it. And I was very proud of you.
But that's the thing with you. It's like I don't do something unless I know I'm going to do it right.
Oh.
And if you remember, you hung up I
don't think we should talk about that.
What was it? It had to be.
It was literally.
I think it's still here.
It was a cuadro like this. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, it was just like a wall decor. But it was when we were moving in our first house.
And it was heavy.
It was not that heavy.
It was heavy because the moment I picked it up, I said, I need to go buy a stud finder. Wait. And then you said, you're so dramatic. My dad literally just grabbed something and puts it on the wall. I said, there is no way your father does that.
Yeah.
But if he does, I cannot wait to see when they take those things off. And then you got mad that I wanted to buy a stud finder and it was going to take 2 days to arrive on Amazon.
Yeah.
You took a matter into your own hands. You just went.
Yeah, I think it was when you were at work and I'm like,
no, you did it in front of me.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. And I said, okay. Like, honestly, like, if you want this hung up that bad, I need to let this happen.
It's because...
Then you hung it. And what happened?
It fell.
No, it didn't.
What
we
happened?
woke up the next morning and it was a foot below where it's supposed to be because it dragged the hole in the wall.
Yeah. Well, it's because that was when we were moving into our first home. I was excited, like new home feels. And I just wanted to...
Since now you haven't questioned me.
Yes, I have learned my lesson. But I was just excited and I didn't want it to take 6 months for you to put it there because I wanted our master room.
2 days, you have prime.
I wanted our master room to look pretty and cute. And it's okay though because we learned our lesson and we learned how we communicate. And
but
how
now you have a pinstripe hole.
Yeah. How we communicate. Well, now the ladies that rents it, she doesn't even know probably that it's there. No, because
we hung up
something else to cover it.
Wall decor right above it to cover it.
Yeah.
I still sealed it a little bit. But.
I think there's a lot of positives to this story. I think that we learned a lesson. I think...
What did you learn?
I think we learned to communicate. What did you learn? Our relationship has just gotten better.
What do you mean we learn to communicate? We have 2 communication styles.
We do. I think we should talk about that. I think over the past few years, we've learned to, if, you know, things come up or situations, we communicate very different. And would you like to say how we do that?
This sounds like a trap. I'll let you say it.
No, well, it's... I kind of analyze and sit down and I'm very calm. I think the opposite.
What in the actual hell are you talking about?
I think sometimes when you're like, you know, the heat of the moment, you like to speak in Spanish. And we've talked about it on the podcast that speaking in Spanish when we're in the heat of the moment kind of triggers me.
I think in Spanish.
Yeah.
It took one of my white friends to ask me this in the 7th grade. Do you think in English or Spanish? And I said, I have never thought of that. I'll get back to you. Mm-hmm. And then I remember that a couple moments later, and then later in the afternoon, I caught myself thinking. And it was in Spanish.
That's crazy. I've never thought about that.
My first language is Spanish. Yeah. So automatically I switch to Spanish.
Yes.
My brain goes to Spanish. So when I'm being descriptive in my mind and I have to translate and like get my point across because I'm descriptively like Spanish.
Yes, the issue is that like
you have a trauma.
I have a trauma that when people speak to me in Spanish,
which is nuts, by the way,
and they have like a certain tone with it, I shut down.
I did sign you up for BetterHelp for this.
I shut down completely, and I just don't like it. Like I just think that they're.
And then you put your cara. What's your cara? Do it right now, because there might be people watching on YouTube. No, it's this one.
Yeah. So
no,
Edward,
do it.
Edward can. I already
so people
did
know
it.
People know I have it. No, it's like this. And your
and my legs are turned the other way in the car.
And your blink gets like this.
Slower,
and like gazing upon nowhere to be seen.
But it kind of triggers me that you know when I have my cara because you always say "quítate esa cara," and I hate that.
I don't say "quítate esa cara."
That triggers me.
What I say is, Brenna, we just started talking. Ya tienes tu cara. That's what I say. Because
I shut down. First of all, let's talk in English. Because with Spanish, you have more of a tone of like a señor. And like not a machista señor, but like just a little bit more direct. And I hate that. Like I get triggered.
Bernat, but then as soon as you tell me, I start speaking English because I don't catch myself.
Yeah.
You act like I'm like, no, me vas a escuchar.
You have gotten better at it though. Yeah, you're not like that level, but you have gotten better at it.
6 more years in the U.S., maybe I'm just better at English.
I guess so, but I just think that there are things that we are working on, and that is one of them. is to
My Spanish.
to argue in
want
English. Let's argue in English. But yes, that has been one of our things that we've been trying to work on. But now with the holiday season, I'm wearing green, looking like a Christmas tree. We wanted to have a holiday episode for you guys and chat a little bit about Christmas, the New Year's. I feel like this time is stressful for a lot of people. So it's kind of good to think back at the times that were happy and we were kids and young and not stressed out. So I have some questions for you.
Wow, you prepared.
I did.
No wonder you're like, no, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yes. Okay. How old were you when you first found out that Santa wasn't real?
The Cars movie had just came out, so they had to be 2006.
Okay.
I asked my parents for something, and every year I made it my mission to catch my dad lacking.
Hold it. You're going to have to move it closer to your mouth.
Yeah.
Just move it closer to your mouth.
Well, you're breathing on it. So we got to find a medium spot, because all I hear is... I'm on the podcast with Vader. I'm like...
You're so annoying. You're so annoying. Okay, so it was 2016. How old are you?
2006. 2016, I was an adult. I was 18 years old.
You were in college?
Yeah.
I'm like, you found out when you were in college.
So, every year I made it my mission to catch my dad lacking. Every year.
Yeah.
Whether if it was setting up a camera.
That's crazy.
It was staying up all night. Whether if it was like anything. Like,
yeah.
I would just find a way to try to, and he always got around me.
Yeah.
Always got around. One time, I was like, oh, we're about to go to a Christmas party. Mm-hmm. My mom ran back into the house, and I'm like, she went and put the gifts on the tree. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I got to go into the house. My mom just put the Christmas gifts
underneath
there.
The tree.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I was like, I'm going right now. I went. No gifts to be found. Mm-hmm. My whole family left.
I think she just went back to go to the restroom.
I know, but I just wanted to double check because I'm like, she probably put them out. Nope. Didn't find them. I took 3 looks inside the house. There was no gifts in the house. I looked below the carpet if I had to.
That's crazy.
Okay. Literally left. Came back. The gifts were there. We had just moved to the U.S.
Wow.
Just moved to the U.S. There is no way they could have phoned somebody. There's no way my parents had anybody to trust. They had me in shambles.
You know who it was?
Who?
Santa.
Anyways, fast forward.
I'm sorry.
We go to Mexico.
Okay.
And then finally, I told my parents, I'm like, nah, I'm sleeping in another room today. Because usually we would all like share this like huge room that they have. And so 2006, and it's my mission. And I go recruit all my cousins. I'm like, okay, today we find out Santa's not real.
So you had an idea already.
Yeah.
How old were you? Hold up. Did you already tell me?
I was 8.
Okay.
No, I was 7. I was 7.
Okay. That's the age that
And I was like, listen to this. Everybody charge your walkie-talkies. We had walkie-talkies, okay?
That's so dramatic.
Swear. I was like, charge them. Sent Joseph to the garage. Sent Jonathan like somewhere else. I had my walkie-talkie. Tonight. We were in different rooms. And then literally we stayed up all night. Like we were in the main house, and I was like, all right, everybody kitchen this time. We met. I was like, okay, we're going to go outside and we're going to wait. Okay. So sure enough, like we're just hanging out, like drinking soda to stay up, and bam, we start hearing noise. So then I start calling the walks. Like I'm like, yo, like they are on the move. This is like way past midnight. It's like probably 2 to 3 a.m.
Oh God, your poor parents.
And I was like, yo, they're on the move right now.
Yeah.
And like we all meet up at the bathroom because it's the only one that had a window on that side of the house where the garage is at. We're all standing over the window because my grandma's heater is in the bathroom because this is Mexico. Mm-hmm. We have a cousin on top of the heater going like this. And he's like, yep, there goes my dad. And like, yeah, they open the backs of the cars and they get all the gifts out. And that's how we caught them. They're in the
trucks.
Yeah. And then the next morning, they thought they were slick. Oh, Santa's here. And we're like, bullshit. We're like, we saw you guys. We stayed up all night.
Dude, but it was like a bunch of kids finding out all at the same time that Santa wasn't real.
It was our mission.
Did your sisters find out that time too?
I didn't want to spoil it for them.
Oh my God.
But I knew deep inside. And then one time, like years later, like this, I had to be like 13, 14. I found a letter that my sister mailed to Santa in my dad's car.
Oh, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, because I would like go through their shit.
Maybe he was on his way to take it to Santa. You never know.
It was March.
I'm so done. That's crazy. So all the boy cousins found out that night. That sucks.
It was sick. It was like...
But why were you guys trying so hard? Like...
To us, it felt like a Mission Impossible operation. Yeah. It's like, if we catch Santa, we'll beat his ass. Like, I dead ass
like, you really thought that Santa was going to come
we were going to kidnap him. Like, we literally were like, there's no other kid getting a gift but us.
Wait, is that a Mexican thing? Because I know, like, in the American culture, like, in the movies, like, Santa comes down the chimney, you leave cookies out for him. Mexicans don't have chimneys. I'm like, wait, is that a thing in Mexico?
In Mexico, I think they just bolt through the door.
Oh,
because God. There's no chimney.
And they probably don't leave cookies out and milk out like that. Like,
no.
The Mexicans were probably like, we're not going to waste that.
And like, yeah, there was a couple of years we'd try to set up booby traps and stuff. Because every year we'd spend it together. Because like we'd go to our grandma's
I think
house.
that's going to be so funny when our kids like try to catch us or like.
They'll never outsmart me.
I honestly like. I
already know how I would do it.
What?
Put the toys in the attic. They can't get up there.
Oh, true. Or you can leave it at someone's house.
Or the attic. It's your own home. And all they do is this.
That's true. I haven't thought about that. But honestly, when I go like back to think, when did I find out that Santa wasn't real? Like, I always kind of knew.
That's so sad.
Like,
think about my enjoyment of finding out.
Like, I always knew. Like, that's what I'm telling you. Like, as a young age, like, I was in business meetings. Like, I was taking calls. I was doing appointments. Like, I always knew that he wasn't real. Like,
that is out of pocket.
But you know what? I do remember pretending for my parents.
So they would continue to give you things?
I'd be like, oh, like, hopefully Santa can bring me this. Like, but I knew, like, he wasn't real. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to leave this letter for Santa here. Knowing my mom's about to snatch that an hour later.
I genuinely don't think you remember.
No, I don't remember. Like,
I think it's just you. There's no way you didn't believe in Santa.
I will say I do have like childhood trauma of like nowadays I see like the parents like doing so much for like Elf on the Shelf and stuff like that, like doing cute little things for their kids. Yeah, like my parents never did that. Like,
they were Mexican.
Is that why though? Are we gonna give them like the excuse of that?
I just don't think that's a thing. Back in the day, they didn't have like cameras with the SD card, so it was all like on a VHS tape if you like had it. So my parents like held them, and they finally bought a converter. Like they
that's cool.
Put the tape and then it converts it to a file. Yeah. So super sick. So I recently like started watching them again because like I'm like, oh, that's nostalgic.
Yeah, I want to do that soon.
And honestly, it's pretty sad. Like it makes me so sad. Like,
I bet.
But it's funny because like most of the recordings were for Christmas time, and there was like a year where like Emily was like super quiet, and like I was a talker. Like she would just listen to me, and like when she would open up a gift, like she'd open the tape. You know, she's like,
oh, being so careful, like
and I'm like, rip it,
so dainty.
So in the videos, you see me going, "Do you need help? Do you need help?" Because like I'm like, why are you opening through the tape?
Yeah, I think I remember seeing a video like that. Yeah, that you were like, "Pues ya ábralo."
Yeah, and then as soon as she opens it, she's like, "Ya lo tengo."
She doesn't know.
And then my dad's like, "Oh, se equivocó Santa." I'm like, "You think se equivocó? No lo puede regresar." Porque ella escribió bien ahí en la carta. Dude. And I was like, yo le ayudé. So yo sé que ella sabía lo que pidió. And my dad's like,
if I was your dad, I'd slap your mouth so much.
No, and I remember that like in that video, like I was saying that like I wanted a Spider-Man or something. And he got me a huge truck. Like it was like the sickest Christmas present. And he'd only give me one present because it was like super expensive and big. And then as soon as I open it, I go, oh, no es lo que pedí. And he just be like, I'm like, pero está bien chilo.
You did not.
Yeah, like
say that,
I would say
Edward.
that. And it's just so funny looking at that because it's like, you know, you're a kid. Like, and
Yeah.
my dad's probably over here like, I had no idea what he asked for.
Yeah.
But this is cool.
Yeah, well, the kids write down what it is, and like
Yeah.
you have no idea.
And then my dad's like, he's like, no pediste eso? I'm like, no, pero está bien, chilo.
Dude.
Like, you know, and so it's just funny.
Your poor parents. Like,
Why?
I still say this. Like, what you put them through, I am so worried because I'm going to have a child that's going to make you pay for all of this.
Well, my parents are healthy. They're,
Yeah.
they're already used to this type of behavior.
I just think, like, imagine, like, a 5-year-old saying that, oh, pues no ordené eso, pero está bien.
Well,
Like, how crazy.
you just never know.
You were those smart children that, like, they would talk back and, like, with a smart comment.
Oh, yeah.
My worst nightmare. My worst
I
nightmare.
was the, ¿y por qué?
Oh, God. I would just scream back and be like, because I said so. We were literally
like-
at dinner the other day and we were talking about that. How you are going to talk to our kids in Spanish and I'm going to talk to them in English.
No, that's not what I said.
Well, you said you want me to talk to them in Spanish, but I think I'm going to get them very confused if I talk to them in Spanish.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, pues agarra la cosa, like,
Literally.
por like.
My poor kids are going to... I should stick to English.
Listen, most kids don't want to speak Spanish after they start school. So you have 5 years to only talk to them in Spanish so that they can soak it up.
I better get some Rosetta Stone in there because...
Just play Doro for them.
Yeah, but I really do think it is, like, very important to teach them Spanish because there's nothing cuter than, like, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old that, like, talks in Spanish. Like...
Did I tell you the story about my cousin Juan?
No.
Look, he was, like, telling me that his neighbors are, like, pastors at a church. So, like, their son is, like, 4 or 5 years old.
Oh.
And he's super, like, you know,
talkative.
like, well-behaved and, like, you know, talkative. But, like, in Mexico, there's this thing called protecciones. So, like, when you have your window open, like, there's, like, rails. It looks like a jail, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just so people don't sneak in and break your window and go in, you know? Mm-hmm. So, they put him on there. And he was telling me that sometimes he'll be leaving and, like, he's, like, unlocking his car. And he hears, hola. And, like, he turns around and, like, he sees, like, through the rail. He's like, hola. And then he's like, ¿pa dónde vas? And he's like trying to get his car.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, aquí al centro or somewhere, you know? Like the store. And he's like, ah, okay. ¿Y vas solo? And then he's like,
that's so cute.
He's like, and he's young, you know? He's like 4 years old.
Yeah.
He's like, sí, voy solo. Ah, okay. Vaya con Dios. And
He's
like just
que Dios
tells
te
him that.
bendiga.
Yeah, okay, que Dios te bendiga, vaya con Dios.
Oh my God.
And he's like, gracias, you know, like, 'cause he's like, dude, like, it's just so, you don't expect that. He's like, he's not disrespectful. Like, I'm not laughing at that.
Yeah.
But like, he's like, you just don't see that. It's so shocking.
That's
so I found that to be
cute.
so hilarious.
That's why I'm saying, like, there's nothing cuter than, like, a little kid that speaks Spanish. Because maybe it's because it's rare. Like, I don't see it often. So when I do, I'm like, oh my God, my kids better speak Spanish. That's so cute. Like, imagine, like, your kid saying, like, yo quiero ir al parque. Like, just, like, little things like that.
That's what you're settling for?
I don't know. What is my kid going to say? I don't know. Anyways, but I think we do have to stick to teaching our kids Spanish. But I wanted to ask you.
That's going to be hard for your parents.
Why?
Because they only talk to you in English.
Yeah, my parents do only talk to... Well, my mom talks to me in Spanish, and I respond in English.
Think so.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
I'm going to analyze that. I'll get back to you on the next episode.
Yes. She talks to me in Spanish. I respond in English, and my dad talks to me in English.
Your dad does talk to you in English?
Yeah. He talks to people, like, a lot more in English.
It's because he's blue-eyed.
Yeah, right. But I wanted to ask you, do you think that you're going to be the type of parent to, like, be doing all this extra stuff during the holidays, like Elf on the Shelf and, like, going all out, doing it every single night?
I love buying people things. So I know my kid's going to be spoiled. I do know that. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Like, obviously, it's probably bad. Thing. But, like, I hope you can call me out when it's, like, too much. Like,
oh,
you know?
I will call you out.
But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, hey, like, he hasn't been behaving. There's no reason that he should. Type thing, you know?
For sure. But I know are you going to be the type to, like, put in the effort to, like, every night set up Elf on the Shelf and do, like, a cute setup? And, like, are you going to be that type of parent? Or are you just going to go the lazy route and...
I'd probably go lazy.
Yeah.
I do have to say, like, my parents were pretty involved. So like obviously I'll do other stuff. Like I'm okay with taking them to the park, even though I hate going to the park. I'm okay with like taking them places with me.
I would hope they're your kids.
No, but like, you know, some people like leave their kids at home. Like,
Yeah.
they could just stay.
No, but there's like a lot of cool stuff, especially during this like season of like taking them to go see Santa and go see the lights. Like,
yeah, like I would do that, but like me waking up at 3 a.m. to do this, I'm not doing that.
Well, on TikTok, there's some like really
There's some
creative people that are waking up at 3 a.m. to do a whole setup for the night before, which is crazy.
I don't think that's you though.
That's not me. Like, I think I would get like the pre-packaged Elf on the Shelf where you just put a little thing and it says today's thing is going to be this. But I think I would start it and then I wouldn't even finish it. And
that's
then
a thing?
Yeah.
That's genius.
It's like easy. It's an easy route. But you know, there's some people that like do like they're making cookies and like she actually makes the cookies and all that. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But I feel like I would start it and then I just wouldn't finish it. And then my child would be like, Mom, where's Elf today? I'd be like, he's tired, honey. Like, he didn't want to come out today.
He said he's leaving for 7 weeks to Hawaii.
Literally.
That's going to be you.
I would like to think that I'd be the creative mom, but knowing me, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, next question. What were your favorite parts of the holidays when you were a child?
The presents.
The presents, the gift giving?
I think that every night, like seeing the presents down there, I would love to see if like a new one came in. Mm-hmm. But this was when we started having a tree. When we were traveling to Mexico, like I wouldn't know until...
You guys traveled to like California a lot though, like for every Christmas?
Mexico, California sometimes.
Yeah. That's
Arizona
like pretty
sometimes.
opposite because like for Christmas, we don't ever travel for the holidays because it's been kind of tradition that
You should try it.
I feel like it'd be fun, but my Christmases are very different from yours. We every year have gone together at my parents' house, like all of my aunts, uncles, cousins, like I think it's 80 of us. And every year it's at my mom's house. But I honestly think now that she's getting older and like that
Your mom is not that old.
She's not
She's
old.
50 what?
She's 53, 54. But I'm saying now that
53.
she's not in her 30s, like she doesn't have the energy of her 30s. And now that the family is growing more and more, like everybody's bringing their girlfriends, boyfriends, now they're having kids and their kids are having kids. You're invited, you know that. Every time I don't bring you to Christmas, my parents are like, where is he? Like, is everything okay? I'm like, he has his own family he's hanging out with. But yeah, every year I kind of feel like in the future, those huge Christmas parties at my parents', like, I don't know if we will be having them because like truly my mom doesn't enjoy it. She does, but like, my mom is the type that like if something's dirty, she'll clean it right away. Like she can't just see it.
Sit there.
She can't let it see it. So literally for like an 8-hour party, she is cleaning the entire time. And like as a young girl, I didn't see that, but now that I have my own house and like we host stuff, like now I see it. Like,
So that's where you get it from.
What?
How you're always like clean.
Yes, 100%. And that's why like when we think about like hosting and having things at our house, like I do stress out about like you have to prep before, then you have to like prep after, and then the cleanup is like it's a lot. And I get it from my mom, and I really do try to like not be like that and like enjoy the moment. But there's a lot of stuff that you don't see that like I have to do. Like we have to clean the toilets. We have to take out the trashes. Like we got to do this. We got to clean up. And it's like, you don't see that. And like, it's the little stuff and then it's the after. So now as like a grown woman, I kind of feel bad for my mom, like not enjoying Christmas like every year.
But honestly, it's like, I feel like that's going to be up to you guys to break that barrier. Like
I think
somebody just has to host it, like either you or your siblings.
And I do think that like in the next few years, like if we plan on having kids, like I think it's going to be a different vibe. Like I think it's going to be like a smaller gathering because we're like 80. Like, we're a lot. And
I thought you meant like you and I are 80 years old.
no,
I'm
like
are we
we're
that boring?
like 70, 80 people. Like, and it's like, it's the 24th. And then people want to come over the 25th. And it's just like, it's tough. Like, I feel that's going to be my goal in the next few years, to host my parents. And obviously, you know, my brothers will be invited, and your family, of course. And I think it would just be like, I think the first few like will be so kind of weird for us, like my brothers and us, because we're different vibe of like karaoke party vibes, like doesn't stop till 2 a.m, like, you know, everyone's kind of lit, and like, but I kind of like am over that. Like, is that bad to say?
No, I mean that's fair.
I
Like,
think
especially
it's gonna
because
be
like
hard.
it seems like you want to enjoy different things with your parents.
I think it's gonna be hard for my brothers to adjust,
Why?
because like it's not gonna be that vibe anymore. Like, at least like if we host it, like it's not gonna be like getting lit till 2, 3 in the morning. Like, it's gonna be like, let's have dinner.
It is a time for family. Like, think about it. Like, if you have a kid, like your parents are gonna want to see him opening gifts, like their reactions, like that, and nobody's
like, we're not
gonna
be we're not getting drunk anymore like that. Like, we're gonna have a little kid to be watching the whole time. Like,
no, that's fair.
I will say though, like, I'm not gonna be cooking. Like, I hope my mom and your mom bring a dish, because if I'm providing the house, I won't be cooking. I will be providing snacks.
Well, that's a nice thing. It's like, it could always be something.
I think it would just be such a different vibe that we're not used to, but that like I really do want for us in the future. And I have talked to my mom about it, like, hey, like,
and she says she's down to not host.
Yeah, like, she's just every year.
I wouldn't have expected that.
Every year she's just kind of like, oh my God, like she kind of dreads it. So that's why I'm
sucks.
like, Mom, like, you know, in the future, like if we have a bigger house, like Edward and I, like we would love to host things. And she seems excited about it. I just know that my brothers will be it's going to be hard for them to get used to, for sure. But like literally the other day, like we played board games with my parents and your sisters, and like we could not, like, my stomach was hurting from like how much we were laughing, and like we were there for hours and like saying stupid stuff and like literally having the time of our lives. Like,
well, even thinking about it, if like that joint thing happens, like it's like you could even do it at a cabin because it's a smaller group.
Oh,
you
for
could
sure.
do it at this.
And my mom has always wanted to do like a white Christmas. So I think, and imagine like if we have a kid, like that would just be so fun. And we've been together for 6 years, but like our families have never spent Christmas together. But like I would go to your Christmas and then you would come to mine, but like our family spending it together, I think it would be really nice. And also if we have kids, it's going to be like,
but it would also be hard, like adding another 6 people to your 80.
Yeah. But you know, like you guys are invited. My parents would not mind, but just know that like the vibe over there is crazy. Like, but it's also like, it's been like that for so many years. Like, it's kind of bad to say, but like, I'm kind of over it. Like I just want to be, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, but like, I just want to like have some good food, be in like comfy clothes and like watch movies. Like, I don't know. I think it's a progression of life. And the 25th, like, I just want to like literally watch movies all day and like chill. So that's going to be the goal for the next few years of like kind of doing our own Christmas. I think it'd be really nice.
That's valid.
Do you think you'd have fun though?
I mean, my parents keep it chill. Like they do karaoke. We end up playing board games. Everybody opens gifts. And like with you guys, it's like a little different. Like I feel like by the time gift opening happens, like everybody's too drunk.
Yeah.
That there's no like intimate like midnight type thing.
No,
it almost feels like an American Christmas. Like Mexicans celebrate the 24th. They party until like midnight. Boom. Some might go to sleep early to open gifts in the morning, or some open them at midnight because whoa, it's finally Christmas.
Yeah.
Whichever one it is, though, I just think like even when you think about it, it's like the first couple of years you and I were dating. That's why we really wouldn't open gifts there at midnight, because it's like if people are lit and stuff, like it kind of takes like the intimacy of it. Like, you know, like me, I got you something for Christmas, and like it's just like a different vibe.
Yeah.
Or like you've seen like sometimes you guys give your parents like I remember one year you were really excited about to give them like some Apple Watches, and your parents were super happy, but like they kept getting called and like ran.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's such
It
a
would have been
different
easier
vibe.
for it's like, oh, it's your turn. Look, I got
Be
you
more
something.
intimate.
Right. But again, it's like that's just what I'm used to. Like you guys are used to something different. But I mean, I think they're both fun for their own ways.
Honestly, like the first year I went to your family's house for Christmas, I think I went a few hours before mine family's because mine started like at 6, and I think I went to your parents at like 3 or 4. It was kind of a shock. Like, I was very shocked. I was like, okay, when's the party starting? And then
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think you were like, no, like, this is it. I'm like, oh, like, this is kind of cool. Like, it's definitely a lot calmer. And at first I was like shocked, but like low-key, I was like, wait, I kind of actually like that. Like,
but honestly, when you think about it, like I think what gets hard about like being in a situation like of 80 people at a Christmas, it's like a wedding day thing.
100%.
Do you get to talk to everybody? Do you get to spend time with everybody? You don't. But it's nice. Obviously, it's like it would be kind of cool to have like my whole family together for a night. Like that would be sick. But doing that every year would be hard because it's like you don't even like I feel like I wouldn't even spend Christmas with my parents. Like
Yeah.
I compared to like me, like sometimes I'll be at my parents and they crash kind of early, like by 1, so I go head over to yours, and it's like my parents are like already asleep. I think about like all the combo we had, like if we saw a movie, whatever. Like it's like conversations. We talked. We actually enjoyed a dinner together.
Yeah, I literally don't talk to my parents during Christmas party.
I go there and I'll be lucky to get a word or two into your parents, which is fine. Like they're partying. Yeah, I'm not saying it for myself, but I just compare like
it's like a huge event. Like exactly how you said it.
So then it's like I understand that for you. It's like if you want to spend that time with your parents, it's tough when there's 100
and it's
people
like the next day, like I want to spend time with like just my parents and my brothers, but like my mom is too tired. So I just think it would honestly be super nice to just kind of make our own traditions and do our own thing. So who knows?
It's fair.
Who knows what will happen in the next few years?
Maybe we'll just make a tradition to go to Disneyland every Christmas.
I think that would be fun. Or do something for New Year's.
I think I'd rather do Disneyland in New Year's.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. But that is a wrap for this holiday episode. It was so nice kind of touching back and remembering things when we were kids and, during the holiday season. So who knows what traditions we'll make with our kids. I don't think Elf on the Shelf will be one, but we can be creative.
We can make it happen.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys in the next episode, and we'll see you guys next year in 2025.